General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, also known as the Red Hulk, stood in a deserted area, preparing himself for a new challenge. His red skin was glowing brightly, radiating intense heat like a fiery inferno. He had been alerted to the presence of a dangerous anomaly known as SCP-096, a tall, skinny humanoid with a terrifyingly fragile appearance but deadly capabilities. As Red Hulk scanned the area, he caught sight of SCP-096 in the distance, its pale, featureless face turned away. Without hesitation, Red Hulk charged towards the creature, his massive fists clenched and ready for battle. Unlike the Green Hulk, Red Hulk was not just a mindless brute powerhouse. He had a surprisingly strategic military mind and fighting styles that he could use to his advantage. As Red Hulk closed the distance, SCP-096 turned towards him, its blank face contorted with rage. It leapt towards Red Hulk, claws extended, but the red-skinned monster was ready. With a swift counterattack, Red Hulk dodged the creature's claws and landed a powerful blow to its thin chest. SCP-096 recoiled from the impact, its skin breaking and cracking from the force of the blow. But as it reached out to retaliate, it suddenly stopped in its tracks. The creature let out a blood-curdling scream as its hands began to burn upon contact with Red Hulk's scorching hot skin. The Red Hulk grinned smugly as he realized the effect his high body temperature was having on SCP-096. His entire body was like a burning hot fireball, with his anger fueling the flames to unprecedented levels. The creature stumbled back, its damaged skin smoking and sizzling from the intense heat. But Red Hulk knew that his anger had a price. The higher his body temperature rose, the more it drained his strength. He could feel himself growing weaker as he continued to battle SCP-096. He needed to end this fight quickly before his rage consumed him and turned him back into his vulnerable, normal self. With a burst of determination, Red Hulk unleashed a flurry of punches and kicks, each strike fueled by his dwindling strength. SCP-096 tried to fight back, but its weakened state left it vulnerable to Red Hulk's relentless assault. As the battle reached its climax, Red Hulk's entire body glowed with fiery intensity. His red skin was so hot that everything around him began to melt, creating a chaotic scene of destruction. SCP-096 struggled to keep up, its fragile form buckling under the relentless assault. Finally, with one last mighty blow, Red Hulk sent SCP-096 crashing to the ground, defeated and broken. The creature let out a final, agonized scream before falling still, its body crumbling to dust. Red Hulk stood victorious, his red skin pulsating with residual heat. As the adrenaline of battle faded, Red Hulk could feel his strength waning. The intense anger that had fueled his power began to ebb, leaving him drained and exhausted. He knew he needed to control his emotions better in the future to avoid the dangerous consequences of his fiery temper. With a heavy sigh, Red Hulk turned away from the wreckage of his battle and began to walk away, his red skin slowly returning to its normal hue. As he disappeared into the distance, he vowed to continue honing his skills and mastering his powers, ready for whatever challenges the future might bring. For General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, the Red Hulk, the thrill of battle was both a curse and a blessing, a reminder of the fine line between strength and destruction. Words. 589. General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, also known as the Red Hulk, stood in the abandoned military facility, his eyes locked on the tall and skinny humanoid known as SCP-096, also known as Shy Guy. The two beings faced off in an epic battle that would test their strength, might, and determination. Unlike the original Green Hulk, Ross was not just a mindless brute powerhouse. He possessed a surprisingly strategic military mind and fighting styles that he used to his advantage. As he clenched his fists, the muscles in his body tensed, ready for the impending clash. SCP-096 let out a guttural growl as it lunged towards Ross, its claws extended in an attempt to strike. Ross dodged the attack with ease, relying on his agility to outmaneuver his opponent. He retaliated with a series of powerful punches that sent the SCP reeling backward. However, as SCP-096 attempted to fight back, it soon realized the grave mistake it had made. Upon touching the burning hot red skin of the Red Hulk, SCP-096 started to suffer severe burns. Ross's entire red skin and body were like flaming fireballs, his body temperature increasing with every passing second. The Red Hulk's rage fueled the flames that engulfed his body, making him as hot as the stars from outer space, like Earth's sun. The intense heat radiating from him was enough to melt anything in its path. But with great power came great responsibility. Ross knew that the higher his body temperature rose, the more it drained his strength. He needed to control his anger and finish this fight as quickly as possible before he turned back into his vulnerable normal self. As the battle raged on, SCP-096 struggled to overcome the defense of the Red Hulk's fiery skin and body. The relentless onslaught of punches and kicks proved too much for the SCP to handle. Every blow it received felt like a scorching inferno, the flames licking at its fragile skin. Ross could see the fear in SCP-96's eyes as it backed away, desperately trying to find a way to counter the Red Hulk's relentless attacks. But no matter how hard it tried, it could not overcome the sheer power and ferocity of its opponent. In a final, desperate attempt to defeat the Red Hulk, SCP-096 let out a deafening scream that shook the very foundations of the facility. The sound reverberated through the corridors, causing the walls to tremble and crack under the pressure. But Ross stood his ground, his red eyes burning with determination. He knew that he had to end this fight now before his anger consumed him completely. With a mighty roar, he unleashed a devastating punch that sent SCP-096 crashing to the ground. As the dust settled, Ross looked down at his defeated opponent, his chest heaving with exertion. The flames that once engulfed his body began to subside, returning him to his normal state. He had won the battle, but at what cost? As he made his way out of the facility, Ross couldn't help but wonder about the consequences of his powers. The raw energy and fury that coursed through him were both a blessing and a curse. He knew that he had to find a way to harness his anger and use it for good, lest he become a danger to himself and others. And so, the Red Hulk continued on his journey, a beacon of hope and strength in a world filled with chaos and uncertainty. He knew that the path ahead would be filled with challenges and obstacles, but he was ready to face them head-on, with the same fiery determination that had brought him victory in his battle against SCP-096. Words. 625. The city trembled as the ground shook beneath their feet. People ran for cover, their panic screams filling the air. Red Hulk, the powerful beast known for his incredible strength and fiery temper, stood tall in the center of the chaos. His red skin glowed like hot embers, radiating intense heat that caused buildings to melt and crumble around him. As he roared in defiance, Red Hulk caught sight of SCP-096, the tall, skinny humanoid known as Shy Guy. The creature's face was obscured by a mess of long, dark hair, but Red Hulk could sense its malice and hunger for destruction. With a thunderous bellow, Red Hulk charged towards SCP-096, ready to test his strength and might against this formidable foe. SCP-096 let out a guttural growl as it saw Red Hulk approaching. The creature's thin, elongated limbs trembled in anticipation of the battle to come. It knew that facing Red Hulk would be no easy feat, but it was determined to fight to the bitter end. As the two titans clashed, the air crackled with electricity. Red Hulk's fists flew like battering rams, each blow landing with bone-shattering force. But SCP-096 was no slouch either, its razor-sharp claws slicing through the air with lethal precision. The battle raged on, each combatant pushing themselves to the limit in a bid for victory. But as the fight wore on, Red Hulk's anger began to rise. His red skin blazed with an intense heat, his body temperature skyrocketing to dangerous levels. The ground beneath him smoldered and sizzled, the very air around him shimmering with waves of heat. SCP-096 hesitated, unsure of how to combat this new threat. Suddenly, Red Hulk unleashed a devastating wave of flame, engulfing SCP-096 in a fiery inferno. The creature screamed in agony, its skin blistering and bubbling as it tried in vain to extinguish the flames. Red Hulk pressed his advantage, his red-hot fists pummeling SCP-096 with relentless fury. But as the battle raged on, Red Hulk began to feel the effects of his own power. His strength waned, his blows growing weaker with each passing moment. He knew that he had to finish the fight quickly before his anger consumed him completely. With a mighty effort, Red Hulk summoned the last of his strength and delivered a final, devastating blow to SCP-096. The creature's form crumpled to the ground, its body charred and broken beyond recognition. Red Hulk stood panting, his red skin still smoldering with residual heat. As the smoke cleared, Red Hulk surveyed the destruction around him. The city lay in ruins, a testament to the ferocity of the battle that had taken place. But despite the carnage, Red Hulk felt a sense of satisfaction. He had proven his strength and might against a formidable opponent, emerging victorious in the end. With a roar of triumph, Red Hulk turned and strode away, his red skin still emitting wisps of smoke. The people of the city watched him go, grateful for his protection but wary of the fiery power that dwelled within him. And as the sun set on the horizon, casting a crimson glow over the smoldering ruins, Red Hulk knew that his battle was far from over. But for now, he could rest, content in the knowledge that he had emerged victorious once again. Words. 561. As the sun began to set, the Red Hulk stood in the middle of a deserted wasteland, his red skin glowing with an inner fire. Suddenly, a deafening scream echoed through the air, causing the ground to tremble beneath his feet. Red Hulk turned to see SCP-096, the tall skinny humanoid known as Shy Guy, barreling towards him with deadly intent. "You dare challenge me, creature?" Red Hulk growled, his deep voice reverberating through the air. SCP-096 didn't respond, his face hidden behind long, unkempt hair. As he lunged at Red Hulk, the fiery giant raised his fists, ready to defend himself. The two beings clashed, their strength reverberating through the air. "You are nothing compared to my might," Red Hulk shouted, landing a powerful blow that sent SCP-096 flying backwards. But SCP-096 wasn't done yet. With a fierce roar, he launched himself at Red Hulk once more, his talon-like fingers reaching for the flaming giant's burning hot skin. As soon as SCP-96's fingers made contact with Red Hulk's red skin, the creature screamed in agony, his flesh starting to sizzle and burn. "What foolishness is this?" Red Hulk bellowed, his eyes glowing with fury. As SCP-096 continued to try and attack Red Hulk, the fiery giant realized that his anger was only making his body hotter and hotter. He could feel his strength draining as the intense heat threatened to consume him. "I must remain in control," Red Hulk muttered to himself, taking a step back to catch his breath. But SCP-096 wasn't giving up. With a final, desperate shriek, the creature lunged at Red Hulk once more, determined to overcome the fiery giant's defenses. However, as soon as SCP-96's flesh made contact with Red Hulk's searing red skin, the creature let out a gut-wrenching scream of pain. Enough of this. Red Hulk roared, his anger reaching its peak. With a mighty roar, Red Hulk unleashed a devastating blast of energy, sending SCP-096 hurtling through the air. The creature crashed to the ground, his body smoldering from the intense heat of Red Hulk's fiery skin. As the battle came to an end, Red Hulk stood victorious, his red skin emitting smoke from the intense battle. He took a moment to calm himself, the flames slowly receding as he regained control of his anger. I must be more careful, Red Hulk thought to himself, his military mind analyzing the battle. I cannot let my anger consume me like this again. And with that, the Red Hulk turned and walked away, leaving SCP-096 lying defeated on the scorched earth. The tall skinny humanoid known as Shy Guy may have been a formidable opponent, but against the fiery might of the Red Hulk, he stood no chance. The flames of battle may have burned hot, but in the end, it was the strategic mind and skillful fighting style of Red Hulk that emerged victorious. Words. 492. The sun hung high in the sky, casting a fiery glow over the deserted battlefield where two formidable beings stood ready to clash. Red Hulk, his entire body engulfed in flames, stared down at SCP-096, the tall, skinny humanoid known as Shy Guy. The tension in the air was palpable as the two powerhouses prepared to face off. You can't hide from me, Shy Guy, Red Hulk roared, his voice a deep rumble that shook the ground beneath their feet. I can see you, and I'm ready to take you down. SCP-096 remained silent, its pale, featureless face turned towards the ground. It seemed to be studying Red Hulk, analyzing his movements and calculating its next move. As the tension mounted, Red Hulk lunged forward, his flaming fists raised high. With a roar of fury, he slammed his fists down towards SCP-096, aiming to crush the skinny humanoid with his immense strength. But SCP-096 was quick to react, dodging out of the way just in time. It leapt to the side, its movements fluid and graceful despite its gaunt appearance. You're fast, I'll give you that, Red Hulk grunted, a hint of surprise in his voice. But speed won't save you from my strength. With a growl, Red Hulk summoned all his power and launched himself at SCP-096 once more. This time, he managed to land a solid blow, sending the humanoid staggering backwards. But SCP-096 was not one to be taken down easily. It regained its balance and retaliated with a ferocious swipe of its own, clawed fingers leaving deep gashes in Red Hulk's flaming skin. The red-skinned behemoth roared in pain, but he refused to back down. He fought on, using his immense strength and strategic military mind to outmaneuver SCP-096 at every turn. As the battle raged on, Red Hulk's body temperature continued to rise, his flaming skin glowing brighter and hotter with each passing moment. It was a double-edged sword. The hotter he became, the stronger he grew, but at the same time, it drained his energy rapidly. Realizing he needed to end the fight quickly before he reached his breaking point, Red Hulk summoned all his remaining strength and unleashed a devastating series of attacks on SCP-096. The sheer force of his blows sent the humanoid reeling, unable to defend itself against the relentless assault. Finally, with a mighty roar, Red Hulk delivered the finishing blow, a powerful punch that sent SCP-096 crashing to the ground in a heap. The battle was over, and Red Hulk stood victorious, his flaming skin still radiating intense heat. As the adrenaline of the fight began to fade, Red Hulk took a deep breath and forced himself to calm down. He could feel the searing heat of his body starting to dissipate, the smoke from his red skin slowly clearing. As he looked down at SCP-096, now lying motionless on the ground, Red Hulk couldn't help but feel a twinge of respect for his fallen opponent. Despite the odds, SCP-096 had put up a valiant fight, and Red Hulk knew that he had faced a foe worthy of his strength. With a final nod of acknowledgement, Red Hulk turned and walked away from the battlefield, his fiery aura dimming as he began to cool down. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows over the now quiet battlefield, a testament to the fierce battle that had just taken place. And as night fell and the stars glittered overhead, Red Hulk knew that he would always be ready to face whatever challenges came his way, his strength and strategic mind always at the ready to overcome any obstacle that stood in his path. Words. 627. General Thunderbolt Ross, also known as the Red Hulk, was on a mission to test his strength and might against one of the most dangerous entities in the SCP Foundation, SCP-096, also known as Shy Guy. Unlike the original Green Hulk, Ross was not just a mindless brute powerhouse. He also possessed a surprisingly strategic military mind and fighting styles that he used to enhance his strength in more skillful ways. As the Red Hulk approached SCP-096, the tall skinny humanoid known for its extreme aggression and lethality, he noticed the creature's eerie stillness. However, as soon as SCP-096 caught sight of Ross, it let out a blood-curdling scream and lunged towards him with furious speed. Ross braced himself for the impact, but to his surprise, SCP-096 started to suffer severe burns upon touching the burning hot red skin of the Red Hulk. Ross's entire red skin and body were like flaming fireballs, with his body temperature increasing the angrier he got. His red skin was as hot as the stars from outer space, resembling Earth's sun. As SCP-096 attempted to fight back, it quickly realized that it couldn't overcome the defense of the Red Hulk's scorching hot skin. The creature's attempts to harm Ross only resulted in more severe burns and injuries. The Red Hulk, using his military training and strategic mind, found ways to outmaneuver and outsmart SCP-096 in battle. However, Ross also knew that the higher his body temperature due to anger, the more it drained his strength. He needed to control his temper and finish the fight quickly before reverting back to his vulnerable normal self. If he let his anger take over completely, his entire red skin and body would become too hot, causing everything around him to melt. The battle between the Red Hulk and SCP-096 raged on, with the Red Hulk using his fiery flaming skin to create a barrier that SCP-096 couldn't breach. As the fight intensified, Ross felt his anger rising, and his body temperature rising with it. The Red Hulk's red skin emitted smoke as he struggled to maintain control. As the battle reached its climax, the Red Hulk realized that he needed to end it quickly. With one final, strategic move, he unleashed a powerful burst of energy that sent SCP-096 flying, defeated. The creature lay motionless on the ground, unable to overcome the Red Hulk's fiery defense. As Ross calmed himself down after the intense battle, he felt the heat of his red skin dissipate. His body temperature returned to normal as he took a moment to catch his breath. The Red Hulk had emerged victorious, proving that he was not just a brute powerhouse but also a skilled and strategic fighter. As the smoke cleared and the battlefield lay in ruins, the Red Hulk stood tall, a symbol of strength and determination. He knew that his fiery powers could be both a blessing and a curse, but with control and discipline, he could overcome any challenge that came his way. And as he walked away from the battlefield, he knew that he would always be ready to face whatever threats the world threw at him, with his red-hot skin as his shield and his strategic mind as his weapon. Words. 553. In a remote location deep within the confines of an SCP Foundation facility, a test like no other was about to take place. Red Hulk, the fiery and formidable alter ego of General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, stood ready to face off against SCP-096, the elusive and monstrous entity known as Shy Guy. The sound of metal clanging against metal echoed through the dimly lit chamber as the two powerful beings prepared to clash. Red Hulk's crimson skin glowed with an intense heat, emanating waves of energy that could be felt even from a distance. His eyes narrowed as he focused on his opponent, studying the tall and skinny humanoid before him. Unlike the original Green Hulk, Red Hulk possessed not only immense physical strength but also a sharp and strategic military mind honed through years of combat experience. As SCP-096 let out a guttural roar, Red Hulk wasted no time in launching himself forward, his fists clenched and ready to strike. The air crackled with tension as the two beings collided in a flurry of blows, each one delivered with precision and power. Despite his bulky frame, Red Hulk moved with surprising agility and grace, his movements fluid and calculated. SCP-096 tried to fight back, its razor-sharp claws slashing through the air with deadly intent. However, every time its skin made contact with Red Hulk's burning hot form, it recoiled in agony, the flesh beginning to sizzle and burn. The flaming fireball that was Red Hulk proved to be an impenetrable defense against the relentless attacks of SCP-096. But as the battle waged on, Red Hulk began to feel the effects of his own heightened anger. The temperature of his body soared to unbearable levels, his skin glowing with a blinding intensity that threatened to consume everything in its path. Realizing that he needed to control his rage before it consumed him completely, Red Hulk focused on finishing the fight as quickly as possible. With a mighty roar, Red Hulk unleashed a devastating series of punches and kicks, each one landing with bone-crushing force. SCP-096 staggered and stumbled, its defenses crumbling under the relentless assault. In a final burst of energy, Red Hulk delivered a powerful uppercut that sent SCP-096 crashing to the ground, defeated and broken. As the smoke cleared and the echoes of battle faded, Red Hulk stood victorious, his red skin still smoldering with residual heat. He took a moment to catch his breath, his chest heaving with exertion. Despite the draining effects of his anger, he knew that he had emerged triumphant against a formidable foe. As he turned to leave the chamber, Red Hulk's eyes flickered with a mix of satisfaction and wariness. He knew that his fiery temperament was a double-edged sword, capable of both destruction and redemption. With a silent vow to harness his power for good, Red Hulk strode out into the shadows, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. And so, the legend of Red Hulk grew, a beacon of strength and determination in a world filled with darkness and danger. And though his fiery nature may be a threat to those who oppose him, it is also a symbol of hope for those in need of a hero. In the end, Red Hulk stood tall, a warrior forged in the fires of battle, ready to face whatever trials awaited him in the future. Words. 563. General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, also known as the Red Hulk, stood his ground, his red skin glowing with the intensity of 1,000 suns as he faced off against SCP-096, the mysterious and terrifying entity known as Shy Guy. The tall, skinny humanoid leapt at him with inhuman speed, its face twisted in a grotesque mask of rage and despair. Red Hulk didn't flinch as SCP-96's clawed hands scraped against his fiery hot skin, causing the creature to howl in pain and stumble back. The Red Hulk smirked, his military mind working quickly to devise a strategy to take down this formidable opponent. Using his immense strength and agility, Red Hulk unleashed a flurry of powerful punches and kicks, each blow landing with the force of a wrecking ball. SCP-096 tried to fight back, but its attacks seemed feeble in comparison to the brute force of the Red Hulk. As the battle raged on, Red Hulk felt a familiar sensation building within him. Anger boiled in his veins, causing his already scorching hot body to reach new levels of heat. His skin glowed with an otherworldly light, and the air around him sizzled and crackled with energy. But Red Hulk knew that he couldn't let his anger overwhelm him. The more furious he became, the more his strength would drain, leaving him vulnerable to attack. He needed to finish this fight quickly, before his anger consumed him completely. With a powerful roar, Red Hulk unleashed a final, devastating blow that sent SCP-096 crashing to the ground with a deafening thud. The creature lay still, defeated, as Red Hulk stood victorious, his red fiery skin still radiating with heat. As the adrenaline of battle faded, Red Hulk took a deep breath and closed his eyes, willing himself to calm down. The fire within him slowly dimmed, and the smoke that had been rising from his body dispersed into the air. He knew that he couldn't let his anger control him. He had to find a way to harness his strength and power without losing himself in the process. With a nod of determination, Red Hulk turned and walked away, knowing that he would always be ready to defend the world against whatever threats may come his way. And so, the Red Hulk continued on his never-ending battle, a force to be reckoned with, a hero in the shadows. And as long as there were dangers to face and innocence to protect, he would always be there, ready to unleash the full power of his red fiery flaming skin against any who dared to challenge him. Words. 438. Red Hulk stood tall and powerful, his red skin glowing with an intense heat as he faced off against SCP-096, also known as Shy Guy. Unlike the original Green Hulk, Red Hulk, also known as General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, was not just a mindless brute powerhouse. He used his military background and strategic mind to outmaneuver his opponents and utilize his strength in more skillful ways. As SCP-096 lunged towards him, Red Hulk dodged with surprising agility, his movements fluid and precise. He countered with a powerful punch, sending the tall, skinny humanoid reeling backward. But SCP-096 was not one to back down easily. It let out a roar of fury and charged at Red Hulk once more, its long, lanky limbs flailing wildly. Red Hulk knew that he had to end this fight quickly. The angrier he became, the hotter his red skin burned. His entire body was like a fiery inferno, radiating intense heat that could melt steel. However, this also came with a drawback. The more angry he got, the more his strength was drained. He knew he had to control his temper if he wanted to come out on top. As SCP-096 reached out to grab him, its flesh coming into contact with Red Hulk's burning hot skin, it let out a piercing scream of agony. The intense heat caused severe burns on SCP-96's body, making it falter in its attack. Red Hulk seized the opportunity and unleashed a barrage of punches and kicks, each blow landing with brutal force. Despite its best efforts, SCP-096 could not overcome the defense of Red Hulk's fiery skin. Its attacks were futile against the intense heat that radiated from his body. As the battle raged on, the ground around them started to crack and melt from the sheer intensity of Red Hulk's fiery aura. It was like a scene from a disaster movie, with flames erupting from his very being. Finally, Red Hulk saw his chance. With a roar of determination, he gathered all his strength and unleashed a devastating final blow that sent SCP-096 flying through the air, crashing into a nearby building with a deafening boom. The tall, skinny humanoid lay motionless on the ground, defeated. As the smoke cleared and the flames started to die down, Red Hulk took a deep breath and tried to calm himself. His red skin still emitted a faint heat, but it was beginning to fade. He had to be careful not to let his anger overwhelm him, or he would risk losing control and turning into a fiery wrecking ball that could destroy everything in his path. With a sense of relief, Red Hulk turned away from SCP-096 and walked away from the destruction he had caused. He knew that he had to be vigilant and always keep his anger in check, lest he become a danger to those around him. As he disappeared into the distance, the city slowly started to recover from the chaos that had unfolded. The battle between Red Hulk and SCP-096 had come to an end, but the memory of their clash would linger on in the minds of those who witnessed it. It was a thrilling and intense showdown between two powerful beings, each with their own unique abilities and strengths. And for Red Hulk, it was a reminder of the dangers of letting anger consume him, and the need to always stay in control of his incredible power. Words. 585. As the sun began to set over the desolate landscape, a fierce battle was about to unfold between two formidable beings, the Red Hulk and SCP-096, also known as Shy Guy. The Red Hulk stood tall and menacing, his red skin ablaze with fiery power, while SCP-096 loomed silently in the shadows, ready to strike at a moment's notice. The Red Hulk flexed his massive muscles, feeling the raw power coursing through his veins. Unlike his green counterpart, the Red Hulk was not just a mindless brute. He was General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, a seasoned military strategist with a cunning mind to match his incredible strength. As SCP-096 made its move, lunging forward with blinding speed, the Red Hulk was ready. Dodging the creature's razor-sharp claws, he countered with a devastating punch that sent SCP-096 reeling. But as the creature tried to retaliate, it soon became clear that its attacks were having little effect on the Red Hulk's fiery red skin. As the battle raged on, SCP-096 began to suffer severe burns upon touching the burning hot skin of the Red Hulk. The Red Hulk's entire body was engulfed in flames, his temperature rising with every passing second. His anger fueled the fiery inferno within him, turning his red skin into a blazing wrecking ball that could melt anything in its path. Realizing that he needed to control his anger before it drained his strength, the Red Hulk focused his mind and unleashed a series of calculated strikes against SCP-096. Using his military training and fighting skills, he outmaneuvered the creature at every turn, never allowing it to gain the upper hand. But as the battle continued, the Red Hulk could feel his strength waning. The intense heat radiating from his body was taking its toll, draining him of energy with each passing moment. He knew that he needed to end the fight quickly before he reverted back to his vulnerable normal self. Summoning the last reserves of his power, the Red Hulk launched a final, devastating attack against SCP-096. With a roar that shook the very ground beneath them, he unleashed a torrent of fiery energy that consumed the creature in a blazing inferno. As the smoke cleared and the flames subsided, the Red Hulk stood victorious. His red skin was still as hot as the sun itself, but he had triumphed over SCP-096 with his skillful combat and strategic thinking. But as he looked upon the smoldering remains of his foe, the Red Hulk knew that his power came with a price. The fiery rage that fueled his strength also threatened to consume him if he could not learn to control it. And so, as the sun finally sank below the horizon, the Red Hulk made a solemn vow to harness his power for good and to never let his anger turn him into a force of destruction. For he knew that true strength lay not in brute force alone, but in the wisdom to wield that power with care and restraint. And as he walked away from the battlefield, his red skin still glowing with intense heat, the Red Hulk knew that he would forever be a warrior tempered by fire. Words. 534. As General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross stood before SCP-096, a towering figure known as Shy Guy, he felt a surge of excitement mixed with trepidation. This was no ordinary battle. This was a clash of titans, of unimaginable strength and power. Red Hulk versus SCP-096. The thought sent a thrill down his spine. Come on, you ugly son of a gun, Ross growled, his red skin glowing with intense heat. Let's see what you're made of. SCP-096 let out a guttural growl, its pale white skin barely concealing the rage within. It lunged forward, its claws slashing through the air with deadly precision. But Ross was ready. He ducked and weaved, his movements graceful and precise. This was no mindless brute, this was a man with years of military training and tactics under his belt. As SCP-096 continued its assault, Ross countered with a series of well-placed punches and kicks. Each blow landed with the force of a sledgehammer, sending shockwaves through the air. But SCP-096 was no pushover. It fought back with a ferocity that was unmatched, its speed and agility surprising for such a tall, skinny creature. The two opponents danced around each other, their movements a blur of motion and power. Ross could feel the heat radiating from his red skin, his body temperature rising with each passing second. He knew he had to end this fight quickly before he became too angry, before his entire body turned into a flaming wrecking ball. With a roar of rage, Ross unleashed a barrage of punches that sent SCP-096 reeling. It stumbled backward, its pale skin blistering from the intense heat of Ross's red skin. The creature let out a pained screech, its movements slowing as it struggled to overcome the searing pain. But Ross was relentless. He pressed his advantage, his fists raining down on SCP-096 with unyielding force. The creature's screams echoed through the air, a cacophony of agony and despair. Ross could see the fear in its eyes, a fear that fueled his own rage even further. As SCP-096 collapsed to the ground, defeated and broken, Ross stood over it, his chest heaving with exertion. The red glow of his skin had dimmed slightly, the heat subsiding as he regained control of his anger. He had won, but at what cost? As he walked away from the battlefield, smoke still rising from his red skin, Ross couldn't help but wonder. Was his red skin truly as hot as the stars of outer space, like Earth's sun? Or was it just a manifestation of his own inner turmoil, his anger and rage given physical form? One thing was for certain. Red Hulk was a force to be reckoned with. And woe betide anyone who dared to stand in his way. Words. 462. The sun beat down mercilessly on the deserted wasteland where the Red Hulk and SCP-096 stood facing each other, the air thick with tension and the promise of violence. The Red Hulk's crimson skin glowed with an otherworldly heat, his muscles bulging with power as he stared down his opponent. SCP-096, also known as Shy Guy, stood tall and skeletal, its face obscured by long black hair as it crouched low in preparation to attack. Its pale skin seemed to shimmer in the oppressive heat, as if the very air around it was warping and distorting. As the two beings clashed, a shockwave of energy rippled through the barren landscape, sending up clouds of dust and debris. The Red Hulk moved with surprising agility and grace, his movements fluid and precise as he dodged SCP-96's swipes and strikes. Unlike the original Green Hulk, the Red Hulk was not simply a mindless monster driven by rage and brute strength. General Thunderbolt Ross, the man behind the Crimson Beast, possessed a keen military mind and a talent for strategy. He used his strength in more skillful ways, utilizing his power to its full potential. As SCP-096 attempted to fight back, it soon became clear that it was no match for the Red Hulk's fiery prowess. Each time it came into contact with the Red Hulk's burning hot skin, SCP-096 recoiled in agony, its flesh sizzling and smoking as it suffered severe burns. The Red Hulk's entire body was like a flaming fireball, its temperature increasing with every burst of anger. Ross knew that if he allowed his rage to consume him, his body would become too hot to handle, potentially causing catastrophic damage to everything around him. As the battle raged on, the Red Hulk struggled to control his emotions, to harness his power without succumbing to the destructive force within him. He could feel his strength waning, his body betraying him as the intense heat threatened to overwhelm him. But Ross was not about to be defeated. With a Herculean effort, he focused his mind, channeling his anger into a controlled fury that fueled his every move. With a roar that shook the very ground beneath them, he launched himself at SCP-096, striking with unrelenting force. The battle reached a fever pitch, the air crackling with electricity as the Red Hulk and SCP-096 clashed with unimaginable ferocity. The sound of their blows echoed across the desolate landscape, a symphony of destruction and chaos. In a final, desperate move, the Red Hulk unleashed a devastating blast of energy, a wave of searing heat that engulfed SCP-096 in a blinding inferno. The shy guy writhed and shrieked, its pale skin turning to ash as it was consumed by the Red Hulk's fiery wrath. As the flames died down and the dust settled, the Red Hulk stood victorious, his red skin emitting wisps of smoke as he struggled to calm the raging inferno within him. He knew that he had pushed himself to the limit, that he had teetered on the edge of destruction. But in the end, it was his strength, his skill, and his indomitable will that had won the day. As he gazed out across the smoldering battlefield, he knew that he was more than just a monster, he was a warrior, a force to be reckoned with, a being of unimaginable power. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the ruined landscape, the Red Hulk stood tall, a beacon of fiery determination in a world of darkness and chaos. For he was not just a beast, he was a hero, a protector, a champion of justice in a universe teetering on the brink of oblivion. And as long as there was evil in the world, he would be there to fight it, to crush it, to burn it to ashes in the searing heat of his righteous wrath. Words. 663.